been on 123.99. Bucks win tonight over the Dallas Mavericks. I know that will frustrate a lot some of you guys as the Bucks got to win. I know you're hoping for losses. The Bucks do not oblige you tonight. 123.99 Bucks win. We are live. Chris
JT.
Chris King.
Yeah. Justin will be in the building in a little bit. He said he has to join late, doing a little work. So we'll start this off with just us three for the moment. Get at us on the YouTube, on the Twitter at TCI. Well, actually, I changed it. It's at TCIIESQ21. That's where you can find it this evening.
It should have
there
been
we go.
7-3. Should put 7-3.
7-3. That'd have been a good one. That'd have been a good one. But yeah, it's been a minute since we've been on. Good to see you guys. YouTube, Twitter, chat. We'll talk about it. But 123.99 victory for your Milwaukee Bucks.
Was it 98?
I see 99 on my stuff.
Oh, really?
I see 123-99 is the victory. Maybe they changed it 2 or 3 somewhere down the line in the official scorekeepers, books, what have you. But the Bucks win it. Let's do it real quick. We'll get to a game recap for you. And then we'll, like I said, got some good stuff to cover. Whether you join us live on a replay, what have you. But yeah, let's get into it. Ryan Rollins, 24, 9, and 7 tonight. 1 steal, 8 of 14 from the field, 4 of 9 from 3. He was a plus 33 tonight. Ryan Rollins, again, I keep watching him every night. I go, it felt like a quiet 24 from him, but it's efficient. Well, I guess he was 8 of 14, 4 of 9 from 3. Again, it was just a very nice game. He did finish with 3 turnovers, but I thought he controlled the pace. Again, 9 assists, got the ball where it needed to go. He shoots the ball well from 3. He has two moves that I really like from him. Has that step back 3 going for him, likes it to the left side. And then he gets in the paint and gives you a little baby push off and a little step back there in the paint. Sometimes does it off of 2 feet and square. He has that shot going for him, has that look going for him. And Ryan Rollins has really played well. After he had a tough, I think, 2-month stretch or so, really with turnovers. But now in the season, he almost has a triple-double tonight. 35 minutes, good stuff from him. How about the resurgence of Gary Trent Jr.? Where has he been all year long? And he has come up late, got himself back to the starting lineup, 13 and 3 tonight. He was 4-10, 4 of 9 from 3 plus 14. How about Moesha? 10 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. 3 of 8 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3. I thought Miles Turner, how many blocks did he? Can I see his blocks? He had 4 blocks. I thought Miles Turner did a really good job tonight. Defensively, he finished with 8 rebounds. He hit his 3-pointers. Well, he was 3 of 6 from the 3-point line. So good job from Miles Turner tonight. Jericho Sims does what Jericho does. 8 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 of 6 from the field, high flyer. He was a plus 28 tonight. And how about Kyle Kuzma? 20 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, 9 of 17. Didn't hit a 3 tonight, but was a plus 17 on the night in 23 minutes. I thought Kuz was good tonight. I mean, this is a really good starting group tonight against the Mavericks. The Mavericks were on a back-to-back, but I thought the starters played really well. Kuz was aggressive to start the game. Did everything you wanted him to do. And again, there was a moment where Kuz and Ryan Rollins were really, I mean, there was a moment where Kuz and Rollins were back to back. I mean, it was like, okay, these guys, were like a dynamic duo for a hot second there in the game. And I thought they did a really nice job. Taurean Prince, 6 points, 2 boards, 2 assists. AJ Green off the bench, 17 and 6. He's had a couple good games as of late too. 4 of 6 from the 3-point line, 4 from the field. Ousmane Dieng, 11 and 10, 5 assists from him, 4 of 10 from the field. I think he's got to finish a little better. But it ends up being a solid night for him. Pete Nance 11-6, and Alex Adetokounmpo. They're waiting him to get in the game. 3 points all from the free throw line. Missed a 3-pointer there. Cooper Flagg thought he struggled a lot for the first 3 quarters or so. But in the first two, definitely the first half, he struggled. In that third and the fourth, he got himself going. Chris Middleton was hot ass. 3 of 11 from the field, 8 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, minus 14. I mean, Chris looked like he hadn't picked up a basketball in he like he hadn't picked up a basketball in a while. He got lucky with a couple threes in the game or whatever it was. We only finished with 1 3. But again, just another notch on the belt of did the Bucks do? Yeah, I mean, whatever you want to say about the season. We went through this over and over again. Kyle Kuzma was a better deal than Chris. Listen, it didn't work out, but getting Kuz for Chris Middleton. Oh, and sorry ass AJ Johnson played too. 8 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. He was 3 of 8 from the field. I know a lot of people were crying when AJ Johnson got traded. But again, it seems like multiple teams have passed on him and Chris Middleton. So both of them combined for less points than Kuzma tonight. And Kuzma only played 23 minutes. Daniel Gafford, 7 and 4. Max Christie, 3 points. Ryan Nembhard, 9 points. Tyler Smith, former Buck, 5 points from him tonight. So again, some good performances for the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. I thought they came out. They did what they were supposed to do. They dominated this game from start to finish. Again, I know, and somebody mentioned in the comments that that it changed the landscape of where the Bucks could finish as far as drafting and things like this. Steeler face Justin will be here in a second. You can ask him. He'll be here. He's just running. He's got some work to do, but he'll be here in a little bit. But again, here's where I am on the season. I'll pass to you, JT. I'm at the point where I'm just never going to be a guy, unless you're like really in contention for the number 1 seed. Not number 1 seed. Unless you're in contention for that number 1 pick or something like that. And it's like, you're really going between 1, 2, and it's like the NFL and Lou. Do I care? Oh, we have 3 percentage points better for the 9th pick. I'm not doing all that. So I see crazy stuff happen all the time. I believe in the last 5 years, never in the last 5 years, the team with the best odds to get the number 1 pick did not get it. So it is what it is. I'm a fan of good habits. And I'll take the good habits and Ryan Rollins playing well. I'm glad AJ Green played well tonight. Again, as much as I pick on these guys all the time and I talk shit. But at the end of the day, I as I say every time, I want AJ Green. I hope he averages 30 points, and I hope he turns into Con Knuppel and just the greatest player in the world. Gary Trent Jr., who may be back on a minimum next year. We don't know this because Gary Trent Jr. hasn't played well. I have a feeling he probably will be back on a minimum in Milwaukee. I'd love for him to play well and have some momentum going into the offseason. Who knows what they end up doing with Kuzma, Miles Turner, Jericho Sims. Some of these guys, Pete Nance, who just got a contract, Ousmane Dieng. So again, my point is, I understand from the people who want 3 percentage points better and getting certain picks. Fine, cool. We're not about to. You saw the guys that were out tonight: Bobby, Giannis. Who else was out tonight? KPJ is probably out for the rest of the year. You see all the guys out. It's not like we're not about to go on a tear and win. Well, we have 10 games left. We're not about to win 10 games in a row. Relax, okay? We're going to lose more than we win. But I'm okay with this one tonight. Glad we got the dub, and I'll take it 123.99. That's what I saw, JT. What'd you say?
By the way, I think we only have like 7 games left.
Okay.
But I'll say this, right? I think tonight's one of those nights where I'm in a weird spot as a Bucks fan because you look at this team. You had 7 guys in double figures tonight. You had guys out here, everybody doing it. I talk about wins when your stars are out. You got to win in the aggregate. Everybody's got to chip in and do their part. You had a lot of guys on this Bucks team that played well, and the frustrating part is I'm trying not to say, wow, imagine if we had done this earlier. Imagine if we had guys playing well consistently earlier. because you really don't want to do that. What we always say, Trey, if it's for fifths,
we'd all be lit.
That's right, exactly, right. So we really don't want to. I really don't want to go down that road, and I find myself arguing with myself over that. But tonight the Mavericks were just an absolute disaster. I mean, every single one of their starters stunk. I'm not saying anything. They had 3 guys in double figures tonight. I mean, it's about as bad as it gets for this Dallas Mavericks team. But I'm just glad tonight that the Bucks were better. We capitalized on it. You talk about Kuz and Ryan Rollins. I thought they were cooking in that first half, especially. Both of them worked with 17, 16 points. They were balling it. Ryan Rollins, man, finding that 3 ball, making that thing work. I thought that was a really solid basketball from this Bucks team. I'm really glad, we took that belt. At one point, we were up like 30 something points. I think it was our biggest lead tonight. Like we really did take that belt out at one point. We were up by 31 points tonight. But it's just disheartening. And again, we watch these games and the thought process. I don't even care about this year. I care about evaluation for next year. And, who's going to take advantage of their moment? Who's going to take advantage of their minutes? Who wants to be here? Who looks like they want to be here? Who looks like they're competing for a job next year? And who doesn't? And the nice thing is tonight you saw a lot of guys who did not look like they've given up and rolled over on this season, at least tonight. I can't speak for other nights. But I'll say tonight, you made an interesting point about Gary Trent Jr. And I'm gonna rattle this off for everybody who, folks who may not have been paying attention recently, right? So since March 21st, Gary Trent Jr., the re-emergence of Gary Trent Jr., March 21st, 11 points on 4 of 10 shooting. March 25th against the Clippers, 20 points on 7 of 13 shooting. March 25th against Portland, 0 for 7, 0 points. But March 28th against let me make this a little bit bigger. The Spurs, I'm sorry. 18 points, 8 for 11 shooting. March 29th against the Clippers, 36 points, 12 for 21 shooting. And again, he has 13 points and 4 for 10 tonight. The thing about Gary Trent, and I can't figure this out. Last year, we had all this momentum with how he played in the playoffs. And I think that raised a baseline expectation for what we expected from Gary Trent. And this year, it felt like he kind of stumbled out of the gate. But over the last, I'd say, 6-7 games, it seems like he's found his fit, so to speak. I don't know if that's a long-term fit, but at least this season, he seems like he's found his fit, and therefore he's found his footing. And so you're getting some production from Gary Trent that we kind of expected at the beginning of this year. You're starting to see that consistently now at the end of this year. I agree with you, Trey. I think if a vet min is available for Gary Trent, you certainly really take a hard look at bringing him back. Because, again, on a vet min, if we can know what we're getting and we can find that fit, I think he will find his fit and do something for you. The question is, what exactly is it that you want him to do? I think our expectations were probably a bit too high for Gary Trent based off of what we saw last year in the playoffs. But I certainly think he's worth bringing back. Kyle Kuzma has these moments. The only knock on Kyle Kuzma is his salary at this point. I really do think the only knock on keeping him as a Buck moving forward is that he's very expensive. But we've seen time and time again, Kyle Kuzma has these moments and, helps elevate this team. So, again, glad to be in the winning column tonight. You can't celebrate too much, right? I don't think any of us feel happy about a dub at this point, right? It's more like, okay, great. It's like being in the, in the gentleman's club, and you got one dancing well who doesn't have bullet holes, right? Okay, that's great, but the standard's a bit higher. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. What about you, Chris King?
Yeah, I think tonight is just completely an indictment on how inconsistent this basketball team is throughout the whole year. Just like you see these guys, Gary Trent Jr., for example, who are terrible for the majority of this season, and then they finally start to ramp up the last couple months, which would have been nice if this team was in the playoffs, right? But that's not the case. Taurean Prince coming back from injury has been largely ass, but a good night last time out against the Clippers, and then back to kind of ass. And the young guys, Oos goes for 10 rebounds, double-double, but the inefficiency's still there, still working through some of that. And then AJ Green as well. AJ is now finally finding his footing a little bit more after largely a couple months of disappearing. So this team has just never been able to put themselves in a position to win meaningful basketball games, and then when they did play meaningful basketball games, they were just too inconsistent to go on win streaks and stuff like that. Eventually, this team was going to put it all together, even if guys are out. Eventually, you're going to have those nights in the NBA where everybody's clicking. Again, another guy I think of with the inconsistencies, Miles Turner. It's been pretty much consistently bad. And so you're just looking at it like, of course, they're going to be able to find a night here and there that they can all get on the same page. They can all beat up a bad team. But it's just like it's very non-competitive in the grand scheme of things because they can't put it together versus good teams or put it together for large stretches throughout the season. And it's a characteristic of a bad basketball team. Another characteristic of a bad basketball team is your stars are out. And we only have really one superstar, so that makes it even tougher. It's just it's tough to stay completely intrigued in this season right now after obviously being eliminated from the playoffs, but that's been the sentiment for about a month now for us, is that this team wasn't even going to sniff the play-in, and they would have had to go on a crazy win streak with help from other teams to do so. But certainly like to see some of the young guys at least find the ball going in the basket and some effort still at this point in the season when it would be easy to mail it in.
Yeah, no, again, that's all it was for me tonight. Go out and compete, see what happens, and again, have some fun and build some good habits. You talk about, looking to play in and where things were when there was a chance for, but the Bucks, again, it was just going to be tough because you look at it, because if you look at the West, right, the Golden State is in 10th right now at 36. They're 3 games under. We're just talking about where the Bucks were if they were competing again. I think they would have maybe had a chance. They could have stuck around 500. But you look, again, all these teams, when I look at, again, Charlotte, remember, they went on a tear. They were the hottest team in the league for quite some time. They're still 10th. Now, for what it's worth, they are only a couple games out of 7th. And really they are 2.5 games out of 6, so they could, and they're 3 games out of 5th. So could they turn around in 7-8 games? Yeah, they could. But everybody played either just good enough or not bad enough. So my point in the whole thing is, the Bucks were going to have they would have had to go on a tear to even compete right now, where the last team standing to get in the play-in in the East is 4 games over 500. They would have had to play some real good basketball. NYC Randy super chat. What up, my guy? He says, just pulling up to say, let's hurry up to the offseason. Need that draft analysis. I think we should keep losing, but hey, it don't really matter. NYC, yeah, no, you're right. And I think, again, that's where this is. Like these next, you said there's 7 games left, JT?
Yeah,
right.
30 and 45 at this point.
Yeah. So there's 7 games left. And NYC Randy also jumps back in and says, he says, also trade Kadoosh Turner. He is a 2-pack of ass. So jump back in to tell us that good stuff. But you're he's right. And I think when we talk about, where things are, these next 7 games, they're academic. Yeah, the key is the same for me. And again, I'm going to go 7-0. No, the record, the score does not matter in these next 7 games. What matters and I'm not really even looking now. Again, do I want to be competitive? Yes. Would I rather have us in moments where we are? I want to see how we react to different scenarios. Put you in a scenario where you need to score late in the game, where you need a defensive stop, those type of things. Because I want to see, again, the guys that will be here next year. Rollins, again, potentially Turner if he's here. I'm fine with trading him. If it's Kuzma, again, like you mentioned, he's a salary that you'd like to be able to move on from and use him in if you're going to make a trade, especially if you're trading a Giannis. But Oos, though, all of those guys, AJ Green, all of those guys, I want to see him in those scenarios where you're still playing not meaningful basketball, but you're still playing scenarios where these are glorified scrimmages. This is spring ball. It's spring ball right now, right? This is spring ball for the Milwaukee Bucks. And you're trying to get the guys that you're going to have with you moving forward. you're trying to see what they can bring you, because to your point, NYC, what's really going to ramp up is when those 7 games in, and when we get to that when we find out the actual draft order, and then and from that point, as soon as the buzzer sounds at the end of that 7th game, from that point on, it's evaluation time. What are you looking for? And again, we'll be talking about all that stuff. Again, we watch the NCAA tournament, but yeah, that's what this is about right now. NYC Rant, like I said, he says trade Caduce Turner. I guess I would say this on Turner. The point of bringing him here was to play with Giannis. If you're trading Giannis, then I think you're trading. I don't know why there's really no need for Miles Turner if you're trading Giannis, because again, it seems clear to me that he's not some anchor that like you can lean on to be like he clearly needs help. And what you saw out of Indiana with Tyrese Halliburton and those guys, I'm just not. The jury's really out on. And again, if you were really looking at it, the jury's already spoken on what he is for this year. Unless you want to say, hey, a lot of injuries. This was Doc Rivers. This was an anomaly. If you want to give him another, I could see giving him another chance, saying, hey, look at all the things that were going against him and giving him a break and saying, let's try it one more time and see if he can be that anchor. But you know, I'm not too sure. And again, I could go either way if they think they got a deal that could, especially if you're trading Giannis. Especially if you're trading Giannis.
Do you think the issue with Turner is, to an extent, if you think about how we got him, when we waived Dame, stretched out that salary too, how much do you think pride plays a factor in us keeping Turner? Now, how much do you think John Horst's pride, because this was your big move this year, keeps him from moving him in this offseason?
I don't think it does if you're now. I think if you're keeping Giannis, that may come into play. But if you're trading Giannis, you're tearing everything apart from the baseboards. And yeah, it's, you know, I don't know why you would I don't know why he would feel the need, because he clearly had to show him with draft picks. He clearly would throw it. Yeah, I pick guy in the draft and I'll trade him here and, you know, whatever. You don't really have any attachment there. But yeah, to answer your question, I don't know. But it also answers your question, I don't know, John. Again, I don't know that John Horst is going to be here next year either. So there's so many questions. That's why NYC, you're so right. The sim into the offseason, this is the most important Milwaukee Bucks offseason in the last decade.
Probably 2 decades. Because I would say almost 2 decades, because now you're potentially looking at trading your star player, potentially cleaning house with your GM and your head coach. I mean, like at this point, like when have we been in that situation as Bucks where you have three folks like that you're looking at potentially all moving on from in an off season?
Well, and then not even to stop at that too, it's like offloading the dead weight on a roster if you're moving in that direction of rebuilding. Like are you really going to want to move forward with Bobby Portis if you're rebuilding? And if you eventually, if you move on from Giannis, are you going to move on from, like you said, Trey Turner? Or are you going to move on from Kyle Kuzma? And that all impacts like who this team is going to draft too. So this offseason really is going to be insane. I'm glad we're able to at least cover this if the end of the season ended the way it did with all these L's and the team being so bad. I'm glad the Cream City crossover gets at least to give you guys that off-season content, because it will be a busy one.
Yeah, no, it absolutely will be a very busy one. Going back to the game, anything else you guys want to? I mean, like I said before, we can get to game balls pretty quick. I think we can do game. I know we say we can do some game balls in a dub. But I'm just trying to think, is there anything else you guys really, I mean, that caught your attention tonight? You know, to me, what really caught my attention, if there's any, I thought Cooper Flagg really struggled. No, it caught Solomon Jules that I have not seen Chris across a couple of days. I thought you jumped ship. No, Solomon. So let me tell you for a second, Solomon. I was actually in Milwaukee. And matter of fact, let me tell you this. Since we'll do this, I'll do this. I was in Milwaukee. I went to the game. Stayed at the Trade, by the way. Beautiful hotel. Really nice hotel. I forgot Benedict Mathurin. So when I got there, because I got to Chicago Friday night, but I stayed at Trade Saturday night, and the Clippers were there. Saw saw Benedict Mathurin. I forgot Benedict Mathurin played for the Clippers, so I saw him in the lobby. And then I saw Jeff Van Gundy. I said, Jeff, take it easy on us. He laughed, said, no way. But again, beautiful hotel. I was at the trade. I didn't, again, I wasn't there Friday night to see Wemby, to see the Spurs in the hotel. But I watched that game, and I made a comment. This is what I want to ask you guys. I made a comment. Well, two things. I don't know if you guys maybe did see, whatever. But of course, it happens all the time. I get in these Twitter wars with people. And your guy, Bucks Breakdown.
Daily occurrence with you,
yeah.
sir.
So it was funny. So let me go back. So maybe a couple months ago, again, and I should make this clear, how much I like Ryan Rollins, right? What I did not like, because I say how to make this clear. We were always supporters. I don't like to drag you guys into it. I was always a supporter of Ryan Rollins. Still am. I'll never not be. What I saw happening was people hating on KPJ because for whatever reasons, and I saw a certain people saying what I didn't agree with was people saying this guy's a star. So, and again, maybe he would. I'd love for. I hope he is a star. I said, I don't know that he's a star. I'm not going that far. And I felt the need to defend KPJ a little bit because I thought people were unnecessarily coming after him for things that were off the court. That was the whole thing. So anyway, a couple months ago, I was like, you know what? I said something to the effect of, I said, they talk about it like he's Steph Castle. And I was like, Steph Castle is who I think some people think Ryan Rollins, because that's the guy I'm like, okay. Again, I like Ryan, but I think Castle's a different level of player, just a little bit. And you could argue Ryan Rollins has a better shot, but you can argue. I'm talking about overall pound for pound. I think that Steph Castle is a better basketball player. And again, he should be. He was what was he drafted?
5th, I think.
Top 5, right?
Top, right. Like, so again, I'm not holding that against it. I'm just saying that's who I think. It like yeah. Let's compare players where. So anyway, not they play the same, but anyway. Bucks Breakdown goes, he says, Bucks fans don't watch basketball exhibit A. So when Steph Castle goes, I'm watching him live and he gets a triple-double. I said, I go right back to the old tweet from 2. I say, Bucks fans don't watch basketball exhibit A. Firestorm. And then the other part where I said what I said, and this I don't want to get into that, but what I wanted to get into was another statement I made, watching Wemby. Because other people got Spurs fans found it, they got upset. But I said Wemby's biggest or greatest skill is his height. I said his greatest skill is the fact that he's 7'5", 7'4". And what people replied back to that was a couple of things. They said, well, basically, like that's rich coming from a Giannis fan, because remember they called him running dunk man, all that and above. When I watch Wemby, it's real. And again, number one, I'm not saying that he doesn't have any other skills. I just said his main skill is that he's 7'4". And when people compare it to, well, Giannis is running dunk, I'm like, well, okay, even if that's true, I think Giannis' biggest skills is his ruthless aggression and the fact that he's always going 100 miles an hour on both ends of the floor, at least he used to. But also, there are plenty other guys. There's more people on the. There's more players that are 6'11", 7 feet than there are 7'4". Like again, there's a big difference between 6'3" and 6'7". Like there's a 6'3", you're a little undersized for a win. 6'7" is what everybody wants, right? Like that's what everybody's looking for. And so that's 4 inches, right? So 4 inches can make a lot of difference. 4 inches can make. So I'm just saying, if Wemby, there's a lot of difference between a guy 7 feet tall and 7'4". And what I think Wemby has, in my opinion, I want to get your thoughts. I think he has, for a 7'4" guy, the athleticism is off the charts. But like for just a basketball player, I think he has a average to slightly maybe he's an average jumper. I think he has average hand. Again, they're great handles for a 7'4" guy, but he's average handler, a ball handler. I think his defensive prowess again is great, but the reason it's great is because he's 7'4". I think to me his size is the big. Last point. Like to me, if Giannis was 6'4", he's Russell Westbrook. Like I think that's what because of the tenacity and all. I think he's still an all-star level NBA player. I'm not saying Wemby wouldn't be in the league if he was 6'4". I'm saying I think he'd be closer to average if he was 6'4". Not taking anything away from him, not saying it's his only skill. I'm saying I thought, and again, I watched Wemby in person, and again, I know he came back the other night, had 30-something or whatever, but when I saw him, I was, oh, yeah, his big skill, he's just taller than everybody, and that impact, and I thought defensively, his impact, it wasn't like he was going around moving his pup, boom. It was just guys didn't want their shot blocked. And so when they go in, they go, nope. That's what I saw. But I want to get your thoughts on like your Wemby. Like, what do you think of him? Because that's what I said. Not Spurs fans went off deep end about it.
So look, I think Wemby's a little bit like Shaq in the sense of you're 100% right. Their size plays a very, very significant role in what it is they can do. Remember, Shaq was the first guy the first center that was 300 pounds. And Shaq has come out and said he was 375 when the Lakers were on that run in the early 2000s. And it was just straight up bully ball. He was playing down in the paint. There was nothing anybody could do about it. There just was absolutely nothing that anybody could do about it. And, Shaq at 250 pounds, is he the player that we've all come to know? Absolutely not. And I think that Wemby's going to be the same way. I agree with you. I think that he, just because he's so tall and he's so long, there's just some certain things that you're not going to be able to do. Plus, I mean, look, for a 7'4" guy to shoot the ball pretty well, most of the time, right? Can he shoot the three ball? I mean, not really. He's probably a low 30% shooter, but again, he's 7'4", 7. How many guys have you seen that big shoot even that well from three, right? There's some things that Wemby can do. I think Wemby's a great player. And I think they're gambling on him. We said the other day, they're gambling on him being the face of the league. I could see that. I 100% could see that. But I think that if that's what you said in the Twitter spat, I think people have lost the ability to have some nuance. But it goes back to my original thought. Readers are leaders, man. Some people just can't read. Again, they can't read, or they just translate and basically whatever you type, they make it say whatever it is they want. Because you did not say that was his only skill. You just said that was essentially equivalent to that was a significant factor in it. And people jumped all over you. But then I'll let Chris go, but I'll make this point about Ryan Rollins. It was the Cream City crossover that said when Dame got hurt last year and Ryan Rollins played, hey, get this guy a shot. Hey, Ryan Rollins moving his feet. Ryan Rollins doing his thing. Like, yo, this dude's out here balling. Look at his development. We were all fans of Ryan Rollins before this year, if you want to call this a breakout year for Ryan Rollins too. So I agree with you there, Trey. And I saw some of the same stuff you said. The weird Ryan Rollins versus KPJ, that never needed to happen in the first place. It did not. And again, I'm fan of both. I'll be very transparent. Hey, listen, man, I like Ryan Rollins. I like KPJ. I think I want to see them both back in a Bucks uniform next year. I certainly hope we can find a way to make this thing work. I hope whoever the new coach is can find a way to make it work with both of them. I think KPJ is very talented. If he can stay on the court, he's a huge asset for us. And I think Ryan Rollins, again, best contract in the NBA, best value in the NBA. If there's a most improved player, you got to throw Ryan Rollins out there. I don't see how Ryan Rollins is not in the conversation for most improved. I would take that fight to anybody to argue that he definitely deserves to be in the mix for that award. So, but I'll yield to Chris.
As it pertains to Wemby, I think, Trey, not only you're right, but I would go as far as to say the wingspan is probably the second most important skill that he's blessed with because, you look at him versus a guy like Zach Edey, who obviously there's two different skill gaps there. I think obviously Wemby is way more skilled in every facet of the game, but except for maybe strength. But my thing is, okay, if he can shoot the basketball which he can at some points. You see him microwave a little bit, get hot from three and stuff. That's what kind of sets him apart. It's not so much the fact that he's this super skilled, like going to KPJ tween you. It's like that. All that stuff isn't that much more impressive as like just him being able to make shots and draw defenders out there to the 3-point line. That opens up his game for him. And a lot of times he's not being contested because his wingspan's so long. So I think everything that Wemby does is awesome for the game. I think he's an awesome player, and I think he does have a lot of skill. But yeah, there's certainly a physical advantage that cannot be denied there that sets him apart from other guys like a Zach Edey, who's a 7'4" guy. Definitely doesn't have the same wingspan as Wemby, and that's why I think you see Wemby being a little more of a force defensively, but also being able to shoot over defenders who might not be able to get a hand up at all. So I think there's just, the wingspan also opens up the game a little bit, and along with the height.
Yeah, there's no question. And the other thing is, because then that was Saturday. I watched that game. Then Sunday afternoon, the Bucks had a back-to-back. I watched who I'm watching right now. Portland's playing the Clippers right now. I watched the Clippers play, and I compared from just a straight-up skill perspective, skill conversation, Kawhi Leonard. And watching Kawhi Leonard play, it's again, you could argue Wemby's a better player than Kawhi Leonard today. You could argue that. You could, and probably I would say that he is. But Kawhi Leonard from a skill, it's no comparison. How much more skilled of a player Kawhi Leonard is. Watching how he just plays the game from a mental standpoint, from a shooting standpoint, from getting to his spots. It's different. Like, again, to me, if Wemby was, I don't know if I say smart, but like, there's no reason you 7'5" playing like a guard. There's no reason. That's the reason. Giannis, that's the reason Bucks just played Jason Kidd, right? Jason Kidd unlocked Giannis. You don't need to be out there shooting threes all day long. Get your ass in the paint. Get your ass running downhill. Nobody can stop you at the rim. Wemby don't even have to jump the dunk. Like, I don't understand why you want to play like you a guard all day. But that's what's cool. Steph Curry made that cool. Wemby needs to be down in that block. He's bigger than everybody. He said, you want to be cool? Could anybody stop a Wemby jump hook? If he had one? Who could stop a 7'5" jump hook? But jump hooks ain't cool. Nobody want to do that. Nobody want to be Kareem. Nobody want to shoot that because there's no highlights in that. So, but anyway, I digress. I like Wemby again. I like Wemby as a player. I'm just, anyway, getting off track. Anything else you want to get? But that was just the answer because Solomon said he hadn't seen it, so I was out. So I was, and then the other two nights were they again 10. I'm sorry, I can't stay up at 10 o'clock to watch a game. 15 games on the 500. My bad. Couldn't do it. I was asleep before they tipped off.
Hey, man. Especially we coming up on the end of the quarter. You know what? People out, people on spring break. Get that sleep, big dog. They're going to need you at work.
Yeah, and Jay, we down 2 people at work too, man. It's rough. I ain't talking to you about work. It's rough right now. They wild. They were nothing. I don't understand. So we got time to do. I don't understand. To me, if people are down, right? You got people leaving. You got people going different teams. Whatever. So we got 2 people less on the team. Well, let me just say this. I'll just say this because we have one person that's actually leaving, and they add more work onto your plate collectively. Well, his salary ain't there no more. I don't understand why we all can't chip in on we chipping in on his work. I don't understand why we can't chip in on the rest of his salary too. Who's pocketing that? I don't understand that.
What you saying? Anything over? Hey, you out more than 2-3 days, man.
No. I ain't talking about out 2-3 days. No. I'm talking about he's leaving. I'm talking about he's leaving. We making permanent. We making changes until the backfield. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I don't want to. I'm just saying till we get your backfield in.
We can't all get some extra coins and all.
Come on. Yeah, I'm feeling the work. Okay. Anyway, I just had to get that off my chest, man. I don't understand that one. All right, it's 123.99. Bucks beat the Dallas Mavericks. Anything else from tonight from the Bucks game tonight before we go to Twitter and wrap up the game?
I got nothing to say at this point, man, except for the fact that we 15 games under fire. I don't have any game balls left, sir. This is LA Fitness to me at this point. I'm not. You ain't no damn game ball.
Oh, you're not doing a game. You ain't gonna do a game ball now on a dub. Y'all can't do a game ball on a dub.
Absolutely.
You can't do a game ball on a dub.
You've been.
Giannis went. Oh, I got. Well, Giannis went and grabbed the ball for Alex. No, that don't move you. That don't move you. Okay. All right. I'm just asking. All right, let's go to Twitter. At Kevin Porter MVP says Bucks' chances of jumping into the top 4 could have been over 7% if we lost this game. Now they aren't even 4%. Again, we talking about top 4, like 7% versus 4%. I'm just listen. This is what I say to that, man. If somebody told me you have a 4% chance, I'm just talking about in general in life. Somebody say you got a 4% chance of something or a 7% chance of something. Yeah, hey, it's probably not gonna happen, dog. 4 or 7, like it don't really matter. Yeah, come on, man. Willie Lindquist, my guy, Will Lindquist. Matter of fact, I didn't see him. Well, number one, couple things. Shout out to the Durzays. The Durzays came up, spoke. I saw him at the game. On Jean Durzay, her husband. I want to say it's Greg. But the Durzays came up to me at the game when they played this Spurs, and I saw Will. We didn't get to meet, but I saw Will. He's in the what do they Will if you're still in here, what do they call the cheer section? It used to be Sector 7 for Ersan Ilyasova back in the day. I don't know what they call it now. But he's in the cheer section. Beside there's a big milk carton, and that's like Derry Bird, but he was up there. I saw him up there. But Will Lindquist says we should have kept Middleton. Was all I saw this week for the game. But I'm so glad we moved on from that, and I'm also glad we got a huge W. Hey, good stuff, Will. Drew Barrett says a back-breaking win. Honestly, very annoyed they won tonight. At NYC Randy says, yeah, Will, it says, is this the fan saying, right? Y'all don't have a name no more? It used to have, that's what I'm saying. It used to be Sector 7, and I don't remember what they name anymore. But Will, what's the name of the fan section? Unless y'all don't have a name anymore. NYC Randy says finished strong. I'd rather us finish trash for our odds, but hey, same-ish. At T-Bone315 says, I'll always be so happy with a win. It was nice to be ahead the whole game. It's been rare this year. Nice game. Hoomst ever says, who would rather have lost at this point? Any win moving forward is hurting the team. And then at eRyan99 says, all these people talking about they'd rather see the Bucks lose cannot be watching the game. And Willing says that Milwaukee Bucks fan section, it was the Clutch Crew okay, so it's just the Milwaukee Bucks fan section. All right, Will, I need you to get with the group leaders. Y'all got to get a better name than the Milwaukee Bucks fan section, because Clutch Crew's not bad. Sector 7 for Ilyasova was really good. Spooners dropped off, sadly, was the Clutch Crew Sprite section. Harley Davidson. Oh, yeah, I remember the Harley. Yeah, they did have a Harley Davidson. Yeah, I got to get a name. Y'all got it. Will. Tell them the Cream City crossover. First off, Will, get everybody to subscribe to the Cream City crossover. Second off, you got to get a name. You got to, because I here, and I'll say this about the fan section. There used to be, and I don't know if Will remembers it. I don't know how old Will is, but there used to be a lot of people used to hate the fan section because they just made noise all the time. But I'm telling you, I used to be in that gym in 2015, 16, 17. That gym was dead. And the only thing that kept it halfway alive was the fan section up there cheering other than that, you could have heard a pin drop in the Bradley Center. So I always respect the fan section. They do a really good job. All right, let's go to so you said I won't do a game ball if you won't do one. So y'all so we're not doing game balls. We're done.
Game ball's not gonna matter on Judgment Day. That's it.
Hey, all right, we coming up on Easter. All right, you got your message ready, Pastor.
Hey, brother, I like it. And he didn't go full on Jaden Ivey, but we'll get there.
All right. Oh,
we'll get there.
All right. You're fornicating. Lakers are up right now. The Lakers are up right now. Will's 35. Okay, good man. Good stuff, man. Lakers up 7 over the Cavs. Clippers and Blazers, I'm watching 14-13. Magic beat the Suns. Suns, I believe, have lost. Like they've been falling off a little bit. The Hornets 117-86. Pistons beat the Raptors tonight. The Rockets beat the Knicks. A lot of talk. I didn't see the game, but a lot of talk about Karl-Anthony Towns. He didn't join some of the huddles. So again, a lot of people. He always has a weird kind of vibe and aura around him all the time. And again, a lot of people. It's funny. A lot of people say. A lot of people have said that it's rooted in homophobia. I don't know. He's not even gay. I don't know. It is, but it is the way he is talked about very differently than a lot of other players. And I can't quite put my finger on it. But he is talked about just a little bit differently than everybody else.
It's the mannerisms. It's the fact. Sometimes I think he's maybe trolling, but then sometimes and then sometimes I think he's maybe trolling, but sometimes it's like, nah, because when you caught the audio, remember the mic when he was passing the ball and he was saying stuff, and it's just like, what is that? And then his voice changes. It's weird, man.
Yeah.
It's a different guy.
Yeah, he's different, man. Yeah, he kind of remember, do y'all remember when, who's buddy that used to play for the Ramsey? Remember Ramsey did that interview?
He recovered very nicely.
Yeah, right. And he's never done anything close to it.
And erased all doubt after that. Especially when he got, what was it? Golden Tate's sister pregnant.
Yeah, what's that?
At the same time, was acting a fool out there. And, got himself a couple
of
$1,000, did some stuff.
That's him.
Was in everybody's face fighting. Nobody's ever questioned Jaden Ivey.
You tell me.
But I don't know what that was. That first interview, I don't know what that was. That movement, everything else, it was like, bruh. And I know the braids stopped halfway down the back of his head too. He had cornrows. He had them short cornrows.
Whew. All right, y'all. Wow. All right. Let's see. Solomon Jewell says you should do a show one day on possible draft picks that can help the Bucks immediately. Well, listen, Chris King knows everything there is to know about draft. We will 100% jump on that, and maybe we can start it. Well, let's start it right now a little bit. Oh, there's our guy Justin's in the building. Let me know when he's in, Chris. We'll get his thoughts on the game too, but let's we are rapping. If Justin, you can hear us, he's in his Milwaukee Brewers best. I don't know if the Brewers won today, but or this evening, but I wanted to ask you. All right, Chris King, let's go straight to the bracket challenge, okay? Let's get to the NCAA to turn. Man, the game the other night, the other day, UConn,
we got Justin.
And Duke. All right, we do have Justin. Do y'all want to go NCAA? Or you want to ask Justin about the game first? And then we
can go NCAA first.
All right, I want to see what have your thoughts been?
Yeah.
And on this tournament. I saw somewhere it was the most watched tournament for a while. I thought it's been very entertaining. I do think Dan. Again, I'm not gonna lie to you. Dan Hurley headbutt me like that. Hey, you just lost the game, buddy. You just lost the game.
The story came out that him and that ref were friends.
Yeah. You just lost the game, buddy. Yeah, you might put your sweaty head on me.
I don't know what that was. Again, I don't understand why Dan Hurley gets away with so much. Didn't he do some nonsense right for the Big East tournament?
He's always doing nonsense.
Something crazy and anything. I mean, Dan Hurley just gets away with any. I've never seen anything like it. Where that man, he's only been held accountable but a handful of times, and the stuff he does just absolutely does not fly. But this tournament's been outstanding. I think this tournament. I'll make this point too. You know what your Cinderella is now? Your Cinderella is now a Power 4 school that's traditionally not a powerhouse. That's your new Cinderella. There's not going to be any more mid-majors taking it past the second weekend. You're not going to see your mid-majors in the Elite Eight. I think with NIL and everything else now, I know a couple of years ago you had San Diego State and Florida Atlantic. But I think with NIL and revenue sharing and everything else now, I think the traditional NCAA tournament Cinderella is dead. And I don't think that you're going to see any teams that are not Power 4 teams in the Elite Eight. I mean, I guess technically, like UConn, right, that are outside of your traditional powerhouses in that Elite Eight.
Yeah, I'd slightly disagree. I think there's just the only reason I slightly disagree with that is because there are some mid-majors that are spending. Like I just saw, and this is not to, prop the Atlantic 10 up or anything, but you see reports come out that they're talking about St. Louis is getting ready to spend $10 million on a roster. And like when you think of those teams, at least, like I think of VCU getting a first-round dub against North Carolina in a comeback fashion, which was insane in its own right. But like I think maybe some of those that can survive, you think of a Santa Clara maybe that has just made the tournament for the first time in a long time, or like a St. Mary's. Like that's probably to the extent, maybe Memphis, maybe a South Florida, like those type of teams that are actually spending on their mid-major basketball program. Like I think those are to the extent that could probably get to and make a miracle run. But also, like, again, this is matchup based. This is basketball where it starts 0-0 and anybody can win. You saw Siena, 16 seed, take Duke to the wire. So, like, I wouldn't be able, even though there's been 2 years in a row now that have kind of proved that point correct, JT, that Cinderellas are dead. But I wouldn't be so quick to just jump to that conclusion yet. I think it's still a possibility that teams could make the Elite Eight. But then, they're not going to sustain any of that success because at the end of the day, their best players, where are they going? They're going to the Power 5, Power 4. So I think we can just hold judgment on that for a little bit. But, yeah, this tournament to me has been awesome. I made the mistake of just like, why do I believe in Kelvin Sampson every year? And the Houston Cougars. I feel like, they showed me throughout the season that they could compete with the big dogs, but those teams are just, they were inexperienced, they missed shots and they fell, and so my bracket is cooked. But I had an inkling, and I can say this in hindsight, that like, okay, I knew everybody was going to pick Michigan and Arizona and Duke, and I knew that was going to happen, so I tried to stray away from that, and didn't work. But it would have been nice if Houston won it. I probably would have won. But anyway, there's been a ton of entertaining games. I mean, you think of all the way to the first round. There's been a lot of blowouts too, but you think of Kentucky Santa Clara, for instance, like the go-ahead 3 Santa Clara hits, and then Otega Owe goes from half court and banks it in. Like, all the way from the first round on, I think that there's been very entertaining games, very entertaining matchups. But the most important thing for the sport, I think, nowadays is that you're getting these NBA fans involved because the skill is just a little better. Like, the shots are going down at a better rate. The offense is pretty. And that just happens when guys make shots. And shot making is at an all-time high because they're able to find all these guys that shoot the ball well and do things well and play good defense. And they're able to pick those guys from different rosters and retain guys with big NIL deals and stuff. So I think just overall it's showing that college basketball is a step up from what it used to be in the sense of skill gap that these teams are playing with. So that's the good part about NCAA and why I think the tournament has been great this year.
Man, I don't know how anybody got a problem with Danny Hurley. And I don't like the dude, but you know what? He makes college basketball even more exciting for the college fans. All the antics he pulls just gets people to tune in that wouldn't even know. I got people in my house that don't know the difference between Northern Iowa and Iowa. Those are the type of jokers that normally win the bracket challenge too. People don't know nothing about college basketball. They don't know the difference between a Husker or a Hoosier, but somehow they find a way to pick it and win it. But Hurley, was he out of pocket? For sure he was. Was it great to see? Absolutely it was. I hope he does more antics. I hope he does antics, and I hope JT's Arizona Wildcats, Bearcat, whatever the heck they are.
Don't do that. Don't do that. No. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You gonna put some respect on the boy's name. You gonna put some respect on the Arizona Wildcats.
I know my bracket cooked. It's cool with me. I'm all right with it. JT, I hope your Wildcats win it all because you know what? I can't lose to these goddamn daughters again, man. in the crib. I donate to the Cream City crossover one. I can't lose in the crib though. I got people who don't even watch basketball beating me every year.
You know, the thing is, what I love about this I mean, these Final Four matchups are great. I mean, seriously, now I personally think that Connecticut's going to be ill. I don't think Connecticut's going to have a hard time. Illinois, I think Illinois is a good team, but I think UConn. Listen, man, I don't see how you know. I'm sorry, Illinois, UConn, UConn and Illinois. I think UConn beats Illinois, but man, that Michigan-Arizona game is going to be a dogfight. There's no question about that too. And I think Arizona. Yes, I am a bit biased, but I think Arizona's big is just their ability to bully and how physical they are. I don't think Michigan will have seen anything like that. And that's crazy because Big Ten basketball is a physical, rough and tumble league. But the combination of size, brutality, and finesse that the Arizona Bigs got, I mean, it is something else. But then I also think that the Arizona guards, I mean, between Burris and Bradley, you know, you got – this is a special Arizona team. That is my pick to win the national championship. I do think they beat this Michigan team, this same Michigan team that struggled with Wisconsin in the Big Ten semi, I believe that was. You know, Michigan ended up winning that game too. But I think the Arizona Wildcats are going to hoist the banner at the end of next weekend. And it's been 25 years since they've been to the Final Four, 30 years since they won this thing. And I don't think it's going to be 31.
Real quick, too, I'd also want to say as to why the NCAA tournament has been great. I think the coaching has been really good for the most part. I mean, you see guys like in the NIL era, there is no longer a cushion to build a program. Like these guys are doing it in 1 year. I think of Ben McCollum, who takes his team from Drake to Iowa, and he's a game away from the Final Four. And so, I think of the programs making the adjustments to get bad coaches out and go hire good coaches and making those adjustments, but also like the surge of international players that have now been coming over and playing in college basketball. Whether you like it or not, it's making the sport better. It's making the teams better. Like you look at Arizona, what they have with Karchenkov, the big center that they've got. You look at Illinois, they got 4 guys that are not from the United States and a couple of them that they brought over before the season started. And so I think that's also why you see some of these teams just playing better basketball and being better squads and having better games.
And I want to take you because again I listen to local radio here in North Carolina, and I want to bring you down here and ask you, Chris, about teams that didn't make it as far as people would have liked. You talk about the UNC firing old Hubert, who again him and his wife are gonna live happy ever after.
Hubert, we talking about white wife Hubert. We talking about white wife Hubert. His wife was white for no reason. Nobody asked him.
So he's talking about Hubert, and then, but I also want to ask you about and so I want to ask you, what do you think happens there? Who candidates at Carolina? I saw Stephen A. Smith think that Kenny the Jet should get that job, but then I want to ask you about Will Wade and NC State and him going to LSU, and a lot of people in North Carolina upset about that and thought he did that program dirty. So I know Justin's in that area of the neck of the woods too, in Raleigh. So what do you, I guess questions just on both of those positions and what those two schools can do.
I hate to say this. I feel like Tommy Lloyd, it is the perfect storm for Tommy Lloyd to be the next head coach at the University of North Carolina. And I hate to say this, but Arizona has got some financial challenges. They can't pay him his market value. Clearly, his salary at this point has probably damn near doubled his worth, right? I think, Tommy Lloyd can't come back to Arizona after this year and accept $4 or $5 million a season. Absolutely not. I think, and I don't know, unless one of Arizona's daughter, Artie Moreno, the owner of the Angels, who got some big boosters, but they're going to have to step up and over the wall, I think, to keep him. And I just think that the allure of Carolina is going to be really, really, really tough for him to turn down. There are rumors that his son has been liking tweets of rumors from Tommy Lloyd, the guy that not. No, again, what does that mean? But I think it would be very, very tough for Tommy Lloyd to turn down UNC. I also think that for a job like UNC, I mean, maybe you get some of these guys. Tony Bennett comes to mind, who retired, who still were young enough and had some juice, but just stepped away from the game. Maybe you'd be. I mean, there's just a number. I've heard Jerry Stackhouse is a potential candidate as well. Although I think after watching the Hubert Davis experience, you may want to go with a bit more of a robust coaching resume. Head coaching resume. I know Jerry Stackhouse did some things at Vanderbilt, some good things. I've heard the guy from Florida, Todd Golden. I've heard Todd Golden mentioned as a potential candidate in Carolina. I what's his name tried to pound the drums on the pregame show. Tried to say Bruce Pearl. Like, Chuck or Kenny the Jet. Somebody said Bruce Pearl on the pregame show on Sunday as well. But that's going to be a coveted job, and it wouldn't surprise me if you even got interest from some NBA guys who want to take that job at Carolina.
Yeah, to me, I think it's very simple. I think it's between Tommy Lloyd and Billy Donovan. I think that's what I've been hearing as far as like in the circles of like coach search season is that it's probably between Tommy and Billy. And the reason also, JT, that you didn't mention is that there's been rumors that Tommy Lloyd and the AD there at Arizona aren't like the greatest of coworkers, and they make it work obviously, but that's the guy who's going to be negotiating that extension and stuff like that. And if they're not, if they don't have the best relationship, then I think Tommy Lloyd probably makes that jump. But it'll be interesting that because they came out and said they're waiting until the Final Four is over. So that either means, look, you got 12 days left in the NBA season, but you also got, a week left in the NCAA tournament season. So that's where I think those two are probably the prime candidates. But the interesting part, too, about the North Carolina search is that they can't just go out and hire anybody, because who North Carolina needs is a guy like a Hubert Davis, like a Roy Williams, who goes and, is the ambassador of the program, the UNC program, gets in a suit and goes out and meets with students and all that stuff, like what an ambassador does. And I think Tommy Lloyd probably fits that mold, and I think Billy Donovan potentially fits that mold. But elsewhere, I mean, you look at some of the other guys that get thrown out and you're like, those guys probably don't have it. You look at like Todd Golden, who's over there on the sidelines arguing with McCollum and showing that fire. Like, that might be all good for Florida, but that might not impress the old pockets of North Carolina. As far as NC State goes, Will Wade, I think Will Wade has already shown you who he is in the past. And it does not surprise me that he goes and jumps at LSU to kind of right that ship. But yeah, you certainly do feel for the NC State fans, because they had made a massive commitment to Will Wade. They made a massive commitment in NIL. They were around 10 to 12 million for their squad this past year, and they really didn't do all that much. They kind of limped to the finish line, and you see some of the stats that say, like, after he was rumored to go and accept that LSU job, they were like 1-6 for the past 7 games of that season. So you really wonder how fully committed Will Wade was if he was using this as a stepping stone to ultimately get back to LSU. But yeah, this is who Will Wade is. I'm not really surprised. The guy was going through the cheating scandal along with Sean Miller. They wiretapped him too, and so you're not really surprised at the character of a guy like Will Wade. Think he's a decent coach, but it's clear the players towards the end didn't respect him. It's clear the university they made the commitment and got backstabbed by Will Wade. So I'm not mad at it for him personally. Like, if you want to go to LSU and you feel like that's a better spot for you, I think he was at McNeese and obviously has some ties to Louisiana in whatever way that is. I get it from that perspective, but yeah, he did a disservice to NC State when they committed to him.
Well, we knew Will Wade wasn't shit. I just don't understand this. You knew the man wasn't shit, and then when he get out there and show you his ass, you mad. The best part to me about Will Wade is there was no hiding it. Everybody knew Will Wade was shit. What Will Wade do? Hit that good foot out of LSU right before was it Ben Simmons? Is that what took him down at LSU? Was it Ben Simmons?
I think they just got him on the wire with the same guy Sean Miller was talking to.
Well, Richardson?
Yeah.
Or whoever that was?
So,
yeah, like we knew Will Wade wasn't shit. We 100% knew that. And, he get out there and he show his ass. Now, I feel bad for Carolina State fans because Will Wade had that program rocking, overall. Far better performance, than we've seen in quite some time.
No, not at all.
How Will Wade had him in the Final Four 2 years ago?
He took him to the Final Four 2 years ago.
Yeah, but like, all right, but let's be honest here. Keats got dumb lucky.
Keats, they should have never fired Keats. That's the big problem.
Yes, they should have. Absolutely, they should have fired Kevin Keats. He was god awful. They had to rattle off.
That wasn't Will Wade?
They had to rattle off.
This is first year for Wade.
They had to rattle off like 5 straight in the ACC tournament. Credit to him. Credit to him for getting his players ready to go rattle off 5 straight in the ACC tournament. But like, let's be honest, a miracle run should not carry all that much weight. They did the right thing. They extended him off of that miracle Final Four run. They paid him out. They fired him. But they had to do that because otherwise it would have been just this attachment to a long time ago where they made the Final Four because a couple of guys got hot, and DJ Horn and DJ Burns. Like that program under Kevin Keats was not great, and he showed them who he was before and after the Final Four run. They didn't really amount to anything. It was a fantastic run. I'm not taking anything away from that run, but he showed them who he is. He was not a great coach. He didn't deserve to have that job. The Final Four, it got him what he needed. He got the bonus, he got the extension, but they went ahead and made the right decision. I think that NC State deserves much better than just one Final Four appearance and then missing the tournament every single other year, and would have missed the tournament that year had they not made a miracle run during the ACC tournament. He should have been fired. He was not good enough.
NC State has not been to a Final Four in 40-plus years. You don't just run a man out of town that's done that. And we talking about you firing him to bring in Will Con Artist Wade, who, JT, you're wrong about that too. He didn't have the alumni base hype. They weren't excited about it. I went to the games here. They were yelling at him, come on, Wade, what are we going to do? When they were struggling against University of North Carolina at Asheville this year. Like, Kevin Keats got ran out of town, and now NC State's going to get what they deserve. And we could talk about a miracle run and all that stuff. They ass ain't ran nowhere in 40 years. You give that man whatever he wants. I done seen other schools give dudes lifetime contracts for less stuff for Final Fours in the NIT. NC State is not a major program. They're a mid-major program amongst a bunch of powerhouse giants.
Not with the NIL commitment, Justin. If they're donating $10 million to $12 million a year, you need to be better than just than one magical run and then missing the tournament every single other year. They were hovering 500 when they made the tournament under Keats for the first time. They were hovering 500, and the only reason that they made the tournament is they won the ACC championship by a miracle, in which probably shouldn't even have happened. They should have lost to Virginia that year, but they made a full court buzzer beater. Like, they got lucky. Like, maybe not lucky in the NCAA tournament, but they needed to make that change. I think Justin Gainey, who they just hired, is going to be great. He's an associate head coach under Rick Barnes, who's been phenomenal and made the Elite Eight in the past, or Sweet 16 in the past 4 or 5 years. Tennessee's a good program. He's the associate head coach there. They give him that NIL commitment. They get new blood in there. I think they'll be good. But you would have been stuck in no man's land with Kevin Keats. Let's be honest.
I don't remember NC State making a lot of back-to-back tournament runs.
Well, they're probably they'll probably do it with 2 different coaches. They'll probably do it with 2 different coaches.
He also took UNCW to the tournament 3 years in a row.
Right, but everybody wins at UNCW. It's a one-bid league. They're the best team in the conference.
You know what's funny about your man's Justin Gainey? He was on the coaching staff at Marquette and Arizona. Bet y'all didn't know that.
I get why you got the attachment to Keats, but it's just he was not cutting it. He deserved to be fired. Look at Anthony Grant.
They not firing him, are they?
Nope. He's coaching until 2027. He's just happy sitting, and it's like
Did he get extended?
No, he didn't get it. He got extended way back when they made the tournament 2 years ago and lost to Arizona. But like that's the thing, that he's 2 of 9, and like the people want him gone because there's guys making the tournament religiously that are out there that would love to coach at Dayton, but at the end of the day, they're attached to the 2020 year, which makes sense, right? But that's the kind of danger you fall into if you have one miracle year.
I got one last thing about Keats, because you said everybody wins at UNCW. They ain't been back to the tournament since he left.
Yes, they have.
And
Takeo Siddle took them last year. They played Texas Tech. You remember that? Takeo Siddle's a great coach. He's a phenomenal coach.
I forget.
But everybody wins at UNCW.
I forget it. And I don't think that, Donovan's probably going to get the job. They're also rumoring your boy from Alabama down here, what you're hearing on the local radio here. I don't like either one of them. Yeah. I like Jerry Stackhouse.
The problems Nate Oates brings with his teams. Holy.
I was going to say, bro, I don't know if Carolina can stomach that. You can stay right on down there in that SEC. Where you got,
he's a sleeper. Your boy at Iowa State's a sleeper. I like the Jerry Stackhouse thing. Like a lot of the Carolina alums here, when they call in the shows and stuff like that, they want a guy that has Carolina ties. I think that Stackhouse did as good as you can at Vanderbilt, and learning under Steve Kerr will do all right too.
Isn't Mark Byington definitely was a great hire for? They should look at Mark Byington instead of Stackhouse. They just extended Mark Byington, but Stackhouse didn't do well either at Vanderbilt. Not compared to Byington, at least.
See, this is why I sit back and let the NCAA guys handle this. Good stuff. Chris King talking about the coaching situations and the NCAA attorney. Want to go to
it's not gonna matter on Judgment Day.
Not gonna matter on Judgment Day. Want to go to super chat from Mr. Bees. He says, "Great team win." I let Justin. I want you to answer this because you haven't. You didn't weigh in on the you weren't here weighing in on the on the game. Mr. B says great team win, though. Is it me or do they live and die by the three? I hate when they dare every other person shoot threes. All about effort, in my opinion. I don't know, Mr. B. I think some of it's not necessarily not all effort. I think some of it they just get confused. They seem like there was a moment where they gave up back-to-back threes and they were a bit confused. Rotations weren't very good. Some of it's effort. Some of them I just think they're just not a good, fundamentally sound defensive basketball team at times. But Justin, like I said, you didn't get to weigh in on the game at all. Steer us back here for just a second on the win and your thoughts on defense and just, I guess, the Bucks in general.
I'm never going to apologize for winning a basketball game. I don't watch basketball games to hope for ping pong balls and hope they bounce in my favor. If we win, I'm excited with it. And if we don't, it kind of is what it is. I was listening to y'all while I was finishing up this work stuff, and I agree with y'all as far as I like to see the ball movement. I like to see the effort. I'm just looking right now for guys to show that they want to be here in the hoop, and maybe some guys to show that they're going to be able to potentially play with Giannis if he does not leave. I still think he has a lot of reasons to stay, and I still think he's going to sign that Supermax in the offseason because it's a great financial decision for him. It's tough to turn down an extra $30 to $40 million, especially when you look around in this world and everything's going up. But we're always going to have defensive lapses and stuff like that on the floor because we got a bunch of young guys that aren't normally on the floor, and that's okay with to me. I thought that it's just a good, solid basketball game, man, from the Bucks, and they're too far in between right now, and that's a disappointing thing because I still think there's a lot of talent on this roster. I think the biggest problem right now, the culprit, is the gentleman that made the Hall of Fame today.
Doc Rivers, I hear you there. All right, let's keep going with the look around here. I want to ask you guys about the man of the hour, Christy Nome's husband. No, the man of the hour, Jaden Ivey. What'd you say?
No, I'm sorry.
I was gonna see. I'm gonna leave.
It sounds like he doesn't want to.
I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave that alone.
You don't want to be the man. You don't want to be the man of the hour. You know.
I'm gonna leave that alone. Let's go. The man of the hour, Jaden Ivey. went on social media, a social media tirade after being waived by the Bulls on Monday. The Bulls claimed Ivey was waived for quote-unquote conduct detrimental to the team after he made comments critical of Pride Month, citing his Christian faith. In a series of Instagram live posts, Ivey gave his thoughts on being waived. He said they're liars, they're lying, saying my conduct is detrimental to the team. That's a lie. Ask any one of them coaches in there. Was I a good teammate? All I'm preaching about is Jesus Christ, and they waive me. They say I'm crazy, right? They say I'm psycho. I'm not gonna stop speaking the truth. All those good things, all those things that he said on Instagram. Listen, man. At the end of the day, here's the thing, man. And you know, the crazy thing to me is also not just this, but it's the reaction to it, right? And you have people, you know, because he comes out and he goes, he said something, they promoting this Pride Month, all that kind of stuff. If you saw the original post, and here's my thing. I don't believe that he got waived for that one, the 2-minute clip that got posted, which everybody's saying. I believe that was a part of it. It's kind of the Wemby thing. Your main skill, I ain't say that's the only skill. Your main thing, that might have been what tipped the scales for you. But again, they say his family not talking to him. His wife was in one of his Instagram live chat, and he said, "Hey, you ain't texting me back." She on Instagram like listening to this man go on rants and won't text the man back. So clearly there is something going on with him that I believe. I believe that was just a part of it. It was a 40-minute rant. He was talking about LeBron and Steph Curry. They said that he goes and asks people in the media if they fornicate and all. Something's wrong. Something is wrong with him in the head right now. You can almost tell by the way he's talking on these rants and these clips that something's not there. But again, I thought was crazy to me is people saw the 2-minute clip and then you see people come out to woodworks. I agree. Keep going in your faith, young man. And they just do it because you're gravitating to some. And I just can't stand clearly the team is there. They've seen some of his behavior. He's not acting in a manner in which they gave him his money and they said go away. And then to the other, I saw Sage Steele goofy ass talking about, well, couldn't they just get him some help instead of cutting? And we do this all the time, JT, at work. We will still offer you assistance. We may not employ it. We will still sometimes offer, hey, we want you. You have these resources available to you. However, we are going to part ways. And so the Bulls, they gave him his money. They said they're going to part. I am sure that they are still offering some assistance. I would bet if I was a bet, I'd bet my last dollar that they are offering him some type, that the NBA or the Bulls, somebody is offering him some type of assistance. They just don't want him around their team and their facilities and cause any more problems anymore. And here's the other thing. You know what? If Jaden, you know this wouldn't happen? If Jaden Ivey was Wemby, if Wemby had said this, they would have told Wemby, hey, brother, you need to apologize. You need to come out. You need to make a statement. You were hacked. Well, I guess you said something. AI, you got to come up with a statement. They wouldn't have told him to go on his way. So we tell you the underlying reason why Jaden Ivey's not in the NBA, he's not good enough. You're not good enough to cause distraction. You're not good enough to be in headlines at all. You're not good enough for that. And so that's the number one reason why he's not there. You're causing problems while you're not even playing for us right now. And again, the team they've been around, they've seen it. He's a problem right now. I hope he gets himself right. But as I always tell you, JT, and this happens comes across my desk all the time, my capacity, tell me, there is no accommodation for bad behavior. And I don't, again, if you're good, if I want to, I can accommodate you, but I don't have to. And when you are out here making statements that don't go along with, again, you can say, JT, we do things at work that I don't agree with all the time. But that's what, man, if you agree with it, but that's what the manager said, you do it. Because I do it all the time at work. I don't necessarily agree with. You handle it and you do it and you shut up. But if your values don't align with that, with your employer's values, again, that's not a freedom of speech issue. That's not. If it was a freedom of speech issue, he'd be in jail. He's not in jail. He's free to make. I hate people. It's freedom of speech. You made the speech. There's no you were, and he's still making the speech. I don't think people really don't understand what freedom of speech means. Freedom of speech is not freedom of consequence. We talk about this all the time, and those are the consequences for his action. He got paid $10 million. I ain't never heard of free. There's no freedom of speech. You got $10 million. So yeah, his speech is very free, and he can go along his merry way doing it. But you're just not going to do it while being employed by the NBA. I have a feeling he will no longer. I have a feeling he will never get back in the NBA. But again, hope he gets. Clearly, he's having some issues. Hopefully, he gets himself handled. But yeah, it's tough breaks for Jaden Ivey. Your thoughts?
Well, we've seen this before, actually, guys. We've got some precedents here. And to your point, Trey, when you talk about he's not good enough, that's 100% correct. Look at Kyrie Irving. You remember Kyrie Irving said a series of foolish statements years ago, and he got suspended? What did the Nets do? Basically, they gave him a list of things he needed to do to return, but they weren't going to cut him. They weren't going to release him. They weren't going to force him out immediately. Absolutely not, because he was Kyrie Irving. He was that good. That is true. Look, the amount of rope, the amount of leeway that is directly correlated to your skill, right? I mean, again, look at in a different way. Look at the stuff John Morant did. The Grizzlies didn't cut him. And John was wilding. Right now, again, that's a different avenue. So I don't want to go down there because you're talking about some courts and stuff getting involved. Whereas this was just Jaden Ivey making comments. But again, I pointed back to the Kyrie situation. If you were elite, if you were good, they would have found a way to make it work. And even they publicly said you got to do these following things to make it right. They'd have found a place for you. But the reality of it is the Bills didn't do their due diligence. They traded for a guy who allegedly had these same issues in Detroit. There's a bunch of stories coming out now about how in Detroit he was doing some of the same foolishness. He got down to Chicago. He's been very candid about his mental health and how being hurt and he wasn't in a good spot and he's had some issues. He even said he was abusive towards his wife, which is interesting because that kind of flew under the radar. I don't know what exactly that means or how you define that, how he's defining that. But, I mean, this is a guy who, yes, it kind of reminds me a little bit of Kanye. When Kanye was starting to go on these rants and you started like, wait a minute, what's going on with this before the full-on meltdown happened? But I'm just amazed at the amount of people who've been yelling out freedom of speech and not realizing that, these are private employers and this does not apply. And I don't get it. I hope the man gets help, but I agree with you, Trey. This is a guy maybe he spends a year out of the league, gets right, and then comes back on the vet min. And, we'll see. But sad situation with Jaden Ivey, and I do hope he gets help. And I think of his wife and 3 children. By the way, one of which he had before he was married. I'm just saying. You're asking people.
Well, yeah, do that.
Now y'all gonna make me do this. Now y'all gonna make me do this. Listen.
Well, apparently he also said something about Anthony Edwards using. Remember, Anthony Edwards used the F slur. And again, nothing happened. Same point.
I believe
Anthony Edwards was one of the best players in the game. So it's the
that's
leeway you get.
That's what I'm saying, right? So it's almost like performance earns the right for mistakes. And that sounds really silly, but that's kind of true in everybody's job. Think about it. In all of your jobs, you're a top performer. You screw up, you're going to probably get a bit more leeway than somebody who is not, right?
That's how it goes. Remember Jimmy Johnson said it. There's a practice squad guy who fell asleep during the team meeting. They cut him on the spot, and they asked him, "Well, if Troy Aikman had done that, what would you do?" He'd have told him, "We would have stopped the meeting. I would have walked back and told Trey, hey, let's get some water. Let's take a break." And that's the difference when you're the guy versus when you're not a guy. You get cut on the spot, and that's what happened to Jaden Ivey.
Sports imitates life. I'm just gonna tell y'all what it is. It's exactly what it is. Sports imitates life, right? Different ways, but yes. But that's the thing, right? Now, what's interesting to me about Jaden Ivey too, though, is again, you can talk about the rants and everything else, but you're going up to reporters saying, "Oh, are you fornicating before marriage? This, that." Brother, have you just lost it, right? It's almost comical that you went and asked a reporter about if reporters that are interviewing you asking them if they fornicate. I think about this. How does the conversation get there, right? Because any way it comes up sounds absolutely crazy. If you just start, hey, Jaden, how's your game? Great. Who's fornicating, right? Weird. Or if you're asking questions about Jaden, how do you feel about your performance? Yeah, man, blah, blah, blah. Felt like I got it back. Hey, you fornicating? What you do? Either way, anyway, it's just one of the strangest things to me. I don't know how this happens and how this became a pattern where he kept doing it. But I'll tell you this. I do think in this day and age and all that stuff, I do think teams will be very reluctant to bring him in if they, without some sort of evaluation, without knowing exactly what is going on in his mind, because you just can't have somebody who's just likely to say anything at any time being an ambassador for your club.
Yeah, I think like if he really had the pure intentions or if was actually all the way there, I think there's a better way to go about some of these things if you want to spread the gospel, right? But to me, it's just taking it to Instagram Live and just going off for 40 minutes to an hour, getting ready to board a flight, and the flight attendant got to come and tell you to shut it off because the plane about to take off. Like, there are just better ways to go about it, different settings to go about it. And I think, honestly, you deal with those injuries, and I think that probably messed him up a little bit mentally, but it also creates a situation where the thing that you've been prepping for your whole life, right? The NBA, it gets there, and now you've got you're a born-again Christian, and you're forced to be away from the team rehabbing. You got a lot of time on your hands, and that's a lot of time that can be spent unwisely, and that's seemingly what he's doing right now. It's just I just don't get the whole Instagram Live stuff. Like, he clearly doesn't even get it either, and he's putting himself out there to just say whatever, and that's what happens, like you guys say all the time. Remember it back from on your T's and Q's. Freedom of speech, not freedom from consequences. So it's just he's reaping those negatives.
I was Heinrich Himmer says, shout out to AJ doing the right thing. He's talking about AJ because AJ Green says he liked the post. He liked one of Jaden Ivey's posts. I don't know which one he liked. I did see something about that. And then Heinrich clearly not happy with us talking about it. He says, you guys still yapping and waffling. All right, Heinrich. Go ahead.
So AJ Green liked one of Ivy's posts?
Yes.
There's been some NBA players coming out and supporting him.
NBA, NFL, a lot of the conservative punt. They all jumped on a fair number of people. But again, this is what I didn't. This is why I get some. It's disingenuous because so many of them jumped in. Can't believe he's just preaching the gospel, as if again. And I don't have any problem with you, quote unquote, preaching the gospel or whatever. I don't have no problem with that. If that was all that was happening, what happens is things happen on social media. The 2-minute clip of him talking about Pride Night went viral. That's what went viral. And all of a sudden people went, that's why he got fired. And I'm telling you that, number one, the reason he got fired sucks. But number two, that's not beyond that. That's not why they cut him. It clearly was beyond. That was the last thing you saw that got him cut. That is not the whole story. A 2-minute clip, because again, if it was truly just that, I think you do probably sit him down and say, what's happening? What this had bubbled over and got like again, you don't see a clip. Things happen on social media and they just take a life of their own, man. And this is just what happens. This is social media in 2026 where you see a clip and then you see somebody got terminated and all of a sudden you make your own story up. And that's you weren't there. You have no clue why the Chicago Bulls decided to do what they did. You have no. It's crazy. They literally just made it up. He got fired because he said that. You don't know that. Sorry.
For me, I'm excited for him if that's what he wants to do with his life and he wants to take a walk with the Lord and he wants to become a rebirth Christian and all that. And I think that's great. I also support Muhammad Abdul-Rauf for what he wanted to do back when he followed his Muslim faith. I support, who was the dude's name? Jason Collins. If you want to go and be gay, that's great. I think where we get into trouble from is you start judging other people with different walks of life other than yours, right? And his stuff wasn't preaching the gospel. It almost came out as a judgment on the LGBTQ+, which is something that you just can't do. And I don't know. I'm not the most well-versed person in the Bible. I mean, I've read it a few times or whatever the case may be, but never does it say in there to judge your brother or your sister, right? And the other thing, if this was truly a walk of faith and it's not a publicity stunt or whatever he's trying to do, there's a brother by the name of AJ Griffin who walked away from basketball, and he did not quietly do it, but he walked away without shunning a bunch of other people to do it. And that's my whole point. Talking about Steph, talking about LeBron. I don't know. It's a different Bible he's reading. I'm reading. I'm not judging his. Just like live your life and be great, but you ain't got to judge somebody else walk a life for.
What'd you say, Justin? You want to go do what? You want
to finish them out of pocket? Out of pocket?
Go ahead.
Hey, we got to run this replay back, but
you good.
I got a serious question for y'all, right? This is a serious question. Seriously, straight up.
I don't even know what
anybody that you've ever seen claiming to spread the word of God that goes around screaming, ranting, and does that ever work? I just
the cats with the megaphones on the in the downtown cities when
the
clubs
Has
is
anybody
out.
seen it ever work? Has anybody ever seen? You know what? I'm gonna follow what you're saying, and I'm gonna do. I've only seen people either merely ignore it or get annoyed or be like, "What is this?" Right? Like, does somebody want to get that memo out that running around and shouting at people like it's the 1600s? Probably not gonna get it, right? Like if you're trying to amass a following, if you're trying to spread that word, there's better ways, I think, to do it than to find your block in town square and get out there and just start ranting or doing it. And in this case, y'all telling me Instagram ain't town square? Come on, man. Y'all know that is. That 100, that is the digital town square or Twitter or whatever else. I'm just amazed at people who like what is the goal? What is the end game here? And I agree with you, Justin, right? I think there's different ways to do it, and I think when you're leading with what sounds like animus and trying to tell everybody what they're doing wrong, and it just you lose a lot of people. And man, shout out to y'all know how much like built up you gotta have to go 40 minutes straight just ranting on Instagram.
So I'm saying something's wrong. That's what I'm saying. That like I said, I'm not saying that Jaden Ivey's in the wrong. His thought process. I'm saying I do think it came from a place of something's not right with him right now in the head. And then again, I'm not saying his energy's being misplaced or whatever. Something's not. He's not all there right now. And that's what. Again, I think some of the same thing about you talk about Kanye. I think some of the same thing. He's not. You're not all the way. Something's missing in those moments. Maybe you need some help. And clearly the Chicago Bulls feel that way. Last thing I was gonna say. Last topic I have is and then anything else you guys got. What's up with you? Talking about another guy who can't get it right, man. What's up with your boy Tiger, man? What's up? Why can't he? Apparently he doesn't want to get a driver because
it's cheap. That's his issue.
No. What he said, I don't think that's what it is. He said, or allegedly, what TMZ came out and said was he didn't want a driver because he didn't want people in his personal business. He didn't want to, because I don't know these. I don't know he's cheap. I actually think there's some credence. Go ahead. Okay. Well, I'm saying I think there might be some credence to that where it's like he doesn't want some, because again, you have a driver, you have cybersecurity. They always go back. They tell somehow stuff gets out, and Tiger's. You know what kind of guy Tiger is. So I mean,
Tiger's them late night now. He did boys for Vanessa Trump, right?
And well, they said he's not allowed to. He's not allowed to drive. He's not allowed to drive.
He's not allowed to drive nobody. He shouldn't be.
What is it? Kai Trump, or was that her name? I don't know how you say her name. He's not allowed to drive.
I saw all grandchildren
in the car with him.
I saw he can't have no.
Oh, he can't have another grand. Yeah. So, what I read was he didn't want anybody in his personal business. And again, you know how Tiger lives. So the missions, he don't want nobody taking on one of the missions. But again, he's on whatever pills he on, and so his mugshot, he look high as a kite. So
I mean, listen, man, this is the third incident that we have seen alone with Tiger Woods in some sort of the first one was obviously 2009 when He was on the Ambien and the sleeping pills. I don't know if he's been drinking the Ambien or whatever. And
why don't the Teslas, don't they have them ones that they drive themselves? Why don't you just do that? And at least if it's crazy, you can blame it on that.
Because again, listen, this is why I say this dude is cheap.
Yeah,
you remember when the story came out, he was messing with all the women and the girl asked him for money and all he gave her was a Subway sandwich. It was like, I can't give you no money, but, I gave her the Subway sandwich. I mean, bro, I couldn't believe it. I had so many questions about that. Like, can you imagine Tiger Woods actually going to Subway and making an order? Like, that's just nuts, right? But anyway, I think he's cheap. I do. I think he is genuinely cheap. I think he can drive himself. He's the only billionaire in the world that I have heard of that drives himself from A to B. That is crazy. That's absolutely – I mean, I don't know why you don't have a driver. By the way, you worked on your third DUI-ish incident. What are we doing? You got convicted of the one in, 2017? Well, I mean, Tiger Woods' fall from grace is astounding. I mean, I'm the biggest Tiger Woods. Sunday Tiger Woods, boy, throw the red polo on and he going to work. I mean, I am just amazed at how far Tiger Woods has fallen from. I mean, didn't he just tear his Achilles too?
Yeah, I thought he was rehab. I thought he was supposed to be coming back and playing in a tournament this year or something.
Well, I read he just stepped away from golf.
Well, now he did. Yeah, after this, but I thought he was on his way, working his way back.
Yeah, just came back and played in that simulator challenge thing they do on ESPN.
TGL, T. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to cut you off. Go ahead, JT.
No, you good.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably just kick this one to Justin because he's more.
I got Justin to golf, yeah.
But I mean, yeah, to me, it's just like, damn, Tiger, like you can't stay out of the news. There's always something with him, whether it be an injury, whether it be flipping a car. It's like, seriously, that is another guy. Like we talk about Jaden Ivey, but that's a guy who certainly probably needs a little bit of assistance.
Yeah, it's like, man, you listen to that Kanye song, and Kanye's like, I miss the old Kanye. Man, I miss the old Tiger, man. Like, I miss when he was in the news where he was hitting the 5-iron, 260 yards on one leg and beating Rocco Mediate for the U.S. Open and then going and getting surgeries. But I think what's happened to him is, and you saw this with Brett Favre, he went through so many surgeries and those painkillers just became the norm for him now. And I don't think he can function without them. I'm not qualified to judge or any of that other stuff, but that's just what I'm seeing. JT, you're right. He did have an incident in 2009, but remember, we still don't have the full story of what happened with the wife when allegedly with that accident too, when he got caught cheating the first time or whenever that was. So, I mean, just to sum it up, man, you need some help. You do not need to drive a car. Lord have mercy. Like, not only that, but you're putting a guy at risk who's out there just trying to deliver packages, or I forgot, he was some type of guy that was working, and you hit the shit out of that guy. You going like 47 in a residential street. There could be kids out there playing all that stuff. Like, it's just so crazy, man. And that just goes to show it doesn't matter how much money you have. It's still demons and vices out there, and their life can be twisted up and lost in so many different ways, man. I just saw that young brother at Central, man. I don't know if you all saw that story, but he ended up going back to his room because he was bullied and depressed and just lost his life. And I mean, this life is so precious. And I hate to see a guy like Tiger that has every physical ability in the world to still go out there and probably be the best senior tour golfer ever. But it's all kind of being flushed down the toilet because he refuses to get help. I mean, hell, you checked yourself in rehab for sex addiction. So why won't you do it for the pills?
And to your point, Justin, and your point, guys, I don't know if you guys remember, because I don't remember all this too. Have you looked at the history of his car-related incidents? In 2009, he hit that fire hydrant, and that was when the police allegedly found him when he was like asleep on the ground or something, when because of the cheating had kicked off, and they found out about that too. And then do you remember in 2017 he was found asleep? Come on, man. He was. It's not funny because this is really terrible.
Wait, that's the one where he.
In his black Mercedes at 3 a.m. stopped in the right lane.
Isn't that the one he got out and said, I'm Tiger Woods or something like that? 2017,
yeah. And his PR people did work, and they said the incident was due to an unexpected reaction to multiple prescription drugs in his system. And it was THC, Vicodin, Xanax, Ambien, and oh wow, brother buddy was
Wait.
on that was at the
Michael Jackson concoction.
2021 he had that. 2021 he had that rollover car crash in the Genesis SUV in Los Angeles. I forgot about that.
On the way to the Genesis Open.
Yeah, he had that.
Hey,
Genesis.
You said what was the first drug he had in the system?
In 2017. Vicodin.
I thought you said THC.
He had that too. He had Xanax, Ambien, THC, Vicodin.
All right, Trey Crosby, Stan, you're doing too much. We about to come on now, calm down. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
Trey Crosby, Stan, what he do? Is that a bot?
Hey,
come on.
Is that THC? They prescribing that now for surgeries?
You said what?
They prescribing that THC for surgeries?
Listen, bro.
Would y'all would y'all get in the car with Tiger Woods? What if you meet Tiger Woods? Would you get in but he had to drive you somewhere? Absolutely you and me, Tiger Woods, you would let him drive, you know?
Absolutely
okay,
Tiger Woods can't drop me off. Bro.
Where are we going?
If you know you're going to play, hold on. You get to play. It's an all-inclusive, one-on-one, private. You can play golf with Tiger Woods. And wherever you want to go. But the only thing
we going to Augusta.
He got to drive you from Raleigh to Augusta, though.
Hell no.
I'm in there. I'm with it all. Put me on there, coach.
All right.
Will we in a way mode?
I will go.
You said I will go.
It's no way. It's no way.
All right. That's all. That's all I had. Anything else you guys want to go with the Picky Luke says, do you guys have LeBron James in the top six? Of course, top six, top two.
Top six of what?
I got he's two on my list.
All time, or are you talking top six basketball players?
Basketball, he's number two.
No.
Oh, right now, he ain't top nothing.
Top all time, yeah, of course he's top six.
Yeah, all time he's two to me.
I got him 4. No, 3.
No.
You got LBJ. You got LeBron James. You got LeBron James at what? At 2?
3.
I think the conversation is a lot harder than people want to get.
No, it ain't. It's Mike and LeBron.
I do think it is. If you talk about it all time, listen.
And if you're talking longevity, LeBron. If you're talking about pound for like everything involved, the only thing that keeps Mike over LeBron really is the level of domination. And getting 6 and being 6-0.
I mean, the fact that you can win it 3 times in a row,
3 and 3, yes, that's what does it.
2 years off and come back like
yes, that's what does it. But because if you just take the numbers and just the ability, the skill, like LeBron James is a better athlete. He's a better skill. He's basically better at everything. To me, like LeBron. The reason Mike is one is that his, I don't know what you want. It's that thing that you can't see and quantify. Mike had that, and LeBron didn't have. LeBron has it. He don't have it like Mike got it.
Well, has LeBron ever won Defensive Player of the Year?
Yes.
Nope.
He never won Defensive Player of the Year?
I don't think so.
I got to look that up.
Okay, there's another nuance there, too. I didn't think LeBron ever won. I know Michael Jordan got DPOI in like 88, or like his 3rd or 4th year in the season or something like that, too. You said what?
No, you're right. No, he doesn't. He's a 5-time first team all defense.
There's some nuances there in that. But I think the problem is that you got to really look at, like, I mean, when you think of all time doesn't just start in 2003. I mean, there's arguments for guys like, I mean, listen, I think Lou Alcindor has the most impressive basketball resume in NBA history. Lou Alcindor, y'all know him as Kareem. He started out being Lou here when he first got in Milwaukee, so that's why I'm calling that. But Lou Alcindor, to me, has probably the most impressive basketball resume of all time. Michael Jordan, again, you know, if you go Kareem, Mike, or Mike and Kareem, I don't think you're wrong by having those as your top 2. I'm not saying that, you know, Bron doesn't belong in it, but I'm saying there's a strong argument for having those 2 in your top 2. And I think that's probably universal, right? Like, I mean, how could you seriously argue against Mike or Kareem? So again, and there's probably players that I'm not thinking of too that you may want to mention in there too. Yes, is LeBron better than Magic? I mean, yeah, there's an argument there. Yeah, you could say, well, he is.
There ain't no argument.
Well, but wait a minute. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, there's an argument where you can say, well, okay, but Magic was the first point guard who was 6'9" out there, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's just different, right? And so you talk about LeBron. LeBron's the first guy that size who could move like a little guard and blah, blah. I mean, I think the argument is, these guys are all so great that a true analysis takes into account a number of different factors. And I think if you really have a true analysis of who the top 5 basketball players of our time, I think you can really throw a lot of guys in there. It's basically where I'm going.
I think you can even put an argument for Kobe in there. I'm not saying he's better than Jordan, but if you talk about that, but I always got to go Kareem too, just because of the fact he invented a whole shot that revolutionized the basketball game. That's just unheard of to me. And it was, you couldn't guard it. You just had to hope and pray he missed. Like, Kareem was a monster. He a little bit before my time, but I mean, top 6, like, put him outside your top 6. You're just a LeBron hater. He's a 3. He's a strong 3 to me. And then pure basketball wise, he's slightly above Kobe for me, all the stuff he could do. However,
slightly.
Yeah, but if you go back to that winning aspect and that all that stuff that you're talking about with Michael Jordan, Kobe notches it on that too. Oh, and by the way, Kobe ain't have to run from city to city and stack every team he was on to get to 10 finals in a row either. He sat there and suffered and lost in LA.
So this is what I'm saying. Like, there's just a lot of different arguments to it. There's a lot of nuances to it. I mean, again, Kobe Bryant has a hell of a basketball resume. And if you argue that Kobe Bryant's a better player than LeBron, I don't think you're crazy for making that argument. Right?
You're crazy.
I don't think that's
Crazy.
a crazy argument.
Crazy.
Crazy. Right? Now, Paul Gasol over LeBron is a crazy argument. But I
Kobe won 3 of his rings. You could argue that Shaq was the best player on the team.
I mean, okay, but LeBron won 2 of his rings. What?
And who was better than him?
The stacked Miami team. I mean,
and that's
about Chris Bosh, who was champagne in his mouth.
D Wade was better than the first finals.
And
Chris Bosh.
Chris Wade,
in the
Chris
Cleveland,
Bosh,
Wade wasn't
all-star Chris
Wade.
Bosh, the MVP caliber Dwayne Wade. Yes.
Hey, Kyrie carried him against Golden State.
I don't know
Carried?
He hit a big shot and poured in a lot of points.
Hey, hold on, let me tell you. There was a series, I'm not joking. The one series they lost, LeBron should have been MVP of that series. Matter of fact, LeBron's so good, they gave Iguodala the MVP for holding LeBron to 40 points a night. Man, we put up 40. They said, he played so great defense, they gave him MVP for it.
I'm
giving up 40
right now.
Coming up
with an NBA top 5 is going to be far harder.
Top 5, yes, but top 2 is indisputable.
I think top 2 is. I still think top 2 is hard because again, top 2 you're still cutting out Kareem or Jordan if you're trying to include LeBron in that. And I think cutting out Kareem or Jordan is
easy
very tough.
Watch how easy it is. Cut them out.
Oh, stop it. Okay, now you're playing.
I'm not playing.
Now you're just playing.
And like I said, if you want to go through the history, you talk about the totality of, again, I'm trying to
you talk about of all time.
I'm trying to let it but I'm trying to let it go.
Time.
I'm trying not to think the fact that LeBron is doing something at 38, 39, 40, 41 that none of them people could do.
That's
Nobody.
That's great. But when I talk about resume and overall body of work, there are guys who haven't beat that didn't play 20 years.
Mike, when he was 40, couldn't move like this.
No, and he certainly could, and I respect that.
Okay.
But again, if we're looking at totality and overall body of work, what differences it made?
But one thing in fairness to Mike, when Mike was 41, Mike didn't sit out the entire preseason, half the beginning of the season. He played all 82.
Mike was still playing 41 games. Now, that is true. Now that is very true.
Mike didn't have to worry about the playoffs.
You said what?
Mike didn't have to worry about the playoffs.
I mean, what difference does it make? Like these guys.
It makes a big. That's a whole extra. He done played 6 extra seasons. You know what else? Oh, it's crazy. Right. Now y'all make me defend.
When Mike was in his prime, how many games he played? When Mike was in the playoffs, how many games was he playing? How many games was he playing? Let me help you. How many games was he playing?
LeBron also didn't take off a full year and a half in between.
You mean that was after the third? That was after the first 3 championships. After playing 82 games, 8 or 75 plus games, he took off the 2 years. You gonna do this?
All right.
You gonna do this?
LeBron also wasn't in debt. Gambling is life.
Foolish. Now what difference does that make?
Okay.
Now you say, oh yeah.
Hey, Michael Jordan.
Hey, you don't want me to go there. It's past midnight.
No,
don't make me go there. Don't make me go there. No, I'm not.
Just open it.
I'm gonna go there
because you know what is debt. You know what it costs. And I ain't gonna go there, but you know what it costs. I ain't gonna go there though.
Hey, talk about
it's past midnight, and now you're not gonna make me go there. Don't make me go there.
Michael Jordan may have been in a lot of debt, but Michael Jordan wasn't at no Diddy parties.
He left before that started. Come on.
I bet that's exactly what happened. I bet he definitely left before all that started. Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You gotta give Jordan and Kareem credit.
No, but my argument's not really with Jordan. Mari's with Kareem. Like I said, I got Jordan over LeBron. Mari's with Kareem. Mari's really with Kareem.
He won 3 natties in a row.
Great. I'm talking about NBA. This ain't the Basketball Hall of Fame. This is NBA.
Saying LeBron's clearly better than Kareem.
You don't think LeBron had went to college? He wouldn't have won on natties? Come on now.
I don't know. He couldn't pass the SAT to get there.
Right now, I need you to do straight. Look at Kareem's resume and tell me that's just head and shoulders above LeBron. Seriously, look at Kareem's resume and tell me that's head and shoulders above LeBron. Look it up.
JT, can I ask you a question? How many games Kareem lose at UCLA?
You said what?
How many games Kareem lose at UCLA?
I'm not talking about what he did in college. Yes, Kareem's better college basketball player than LeBron. Y'all got it. Kareem was a better college basketball player. Cool. Y'all got that one.
He didn't lose a game in college.
I give you that.
It was something crazy.
Or high school.
Damn, high school.
I know he lose a game in high school. You look at Kareem's resume. Kareem has arguably the best basketball resume of all time.
Kareem was also a terrible coach. We're gonna talk about his whole body of work.
I forgot Kareem.
Talking about terrible his whole body of work. Couldn't coach for damn.
So who's the worst coach, Kareem or LeBron? Because LeBron clearly been coaching the Lakers the last 3 years. Once they had the podcaster out there.
Okay, wait a minute. Why am I seeing that Kareem's original name was Ferdinand Lewis? This can't be right. Oh yeah, it was Ferdinand Lewis Alcindor Jr. That's right, Ferdinand. Bet you didn't know his first name was Ferdinand.
Did not.
He don't look like a Ferdinand to me. I'm gonna keep this thing buck with y'all.
Goggles on, I can see it.
Ferdinand. You don't.
That's Ferdinand-like.
You said what?
If you have the rec specs on, it's very Ferdinand-like. Somebody named Ferdinand.
Listen, man, this is a name. Like I told you, like Jerome Powell, perfect example. You see the name, you're thinking one thing, you show up, it's another. And Kareem, I gotta put you in here, Ferdinand Lewis Alcindor. This is crazy. I was 2 years old when I found out this brother's name was Ferdinand. My point though is that you look at his resume, his overall body of work, you have to respect that. And I mean, it is equally, if not more impressive than LeBron. I argue it's more impressive than LeBron, honestly. I mean, I do. Kareem has a much stronger resume than LeBron does at this point.
I'm telling LeBron, y'all should see the highlight LeBron just had tonight. Man, still throwing it down above the rim. 41.
I do respect it. I do, and I can put him right there in my top
choice
3.
To draft and build my franchise around Kareem or LeBron. I'd take LeBron 10 times out of 10.
No question.
I mean, I don't know how Kareem shakes out on video games.
I'm talking about again. I'm not saying again. Nobody's talking about Kareem's not great. I'm just saying it's a different level, man. It's a different level of athlete.
Yeah,
that's all. All right. Anything else you guys want to get into? 12:30 on the East Coast. Good discussion. Good conversation. By the way, and Bucks got they play tomorrow night too.
Play the Rockets tomorrow, right?
Play the Rockets tomorrow night. So we'll see what they do tomorrow. I think the Rockets play tonight too. I think they're on the back-to-back too. Yes, Rockets beat the Knicks tonight 111-94. So a back-to-back. We look to finish the season strong here on the Cream City Crossover. Any other comments? Any other comments that or any other things you want to get at before we get up out of here? All right. Hearing none, we'll take it there. Again, we appreciate everybody for joining us tonight. As always, join us again tomorrow night. Again, we're still here. We are still here watching these Bucks, talking about all things. This is like a damn near. I don't know how long we went tonight. This is like 20 minutes of Bucks, and it was basically a T's and Q's here tonight with all the
out there. T's and Q's.
The outside talk tonight. So good stuff. Appreciate you guys for hanging with us. Bucks win at 123-99, blowing out the Dallas Mavericks. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with us. We appreciate it. As always, keep joining us. Stay with us here. A few more games left in the season. We're going to wrap things up the right way. And then, of course, it will be the biggest Milwaukee Bucks offseason in the last 10, 15 years, whatever you want to call it. So stick with us 100% down the stretch and throughout the end of the year and into the offseason. Again, we appreciate you guys for joining us. Either join us on Twitter, YouTube, wherever we watch on TV, a tablet, a phone, a computer. We appreciate it. Again, hit that like button, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend about the Cream City Crossover. It is the best postgame show in all of the land. This has been Cream City Media Group production from the Guru Treasure.
JT.
Chris King.
Justin.
If I am your enemy, it is only because I dare to tell you the truth. Don't take no wooden nickels. Kurt.